Hey everybody, my name is Paul Esden Jr., aka Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to the Jet Zone, right here on Sports War Radio and streaming live simultaneously on the Jet Zone Facebook page, the Jet Zone Twitter page, and my YouTube channel, youtube.com/BoyGreen25. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, we are mere days away from the 2022 NFL Draft. I am jazzed, I am revved up, and I am excited for everything that is coming here in just, again, we look at this. We have got 9 draft picks for the New York Jets, 4 inside the top 38, 2 inside the top 10. I mean, this is an opportunity of a lifetime to significantly upgrade the talent of this roster. And of course, I've just been a big time draft fan for a long time. My birthday is 6 days away, but I don't even care. Every year, my birthday and the draft are just boom. 2 things together. I use my birthday to celebrate the draft. That's all I care about. I watch the draft from the very first pick all the way to number 262. I just enjoy the draft. I enjoy the commentary. I've enjoyed, by the way, going on several podcasts this week. The Goddamn Jets podcast, brand new podcast. Give them a shout out. Jake Asman, more well-known. I was on his show this week. I just love going everywhere talking draft, baby. This is my element. This is my time, and I love talking about it. So it's been a lot of fun, and thank you to everyone who's been joining in. And shout out, we've had a huge surge of new subscribers. We're at 1.42K, which, again, is wild. A month 2 months ago, we didn't even have 1,000 subscribers. Now we're on our way to 1.5, and I'm trying to get to 2K by the draft. Again, I get that's a little aggressive with a little more than a week to go before the draft, but we're trying to do everything we can. By the way, if you're new to the show, feel free to drop in the comments, new or old to the show, rather. Feel free to drop in the comments section. Again, we're streaming live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, and later the audio will be uploaded to Spreaker.com so you guys can listen to this in the car if you enjoy that as well. So feel free to jump into the comment section if you got a question or topic that you'd like to get discussed here on the program, and we will certainly do that here on the show as well. I do want to give a couple of plugs and shout outs of things we're going to be doing that's going to be coming up next Monday. I just got word from my boss. Again, I work at Heavy.com. We're going to be speaking with a former NFL general manager, a former executive of the year on a live stream coming up next Monday. So big draft special. It should be like a 30-minute show. Your questions will be open and so much more. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. The time is not locked down yet, but next Monday, we're doing a massive live stream with a former executive of the year and a former NFL general manager. And no, it's not Mike Tannenbaum. We already have that on the channel if you'd like that. But apparently, by the way, just a random diatribe in the middle of all my plugs. I thought, and again, sometimes you get away from something and your memory kind of changes on it. And that was a great interview, by the way. I loved speaking with Mike Tannenbaum. That was so cool for me. Again, I love the draft. But I remember Mike Tannenbaum being like a beloved figure in Jets land. The DeBrickashaw-Ferguson draft, the Nick Mangold, the trade up for Revis, and just the aggression. And then, of course, the winning that came with it. I thought everyone loved Mike Tannenbaum. And all of a sudden, I take a peek down in the comments. People were like, oh, I hate this guy. I'm like, whoa. Okay, I thought it was going to be a little bit more well-received than it was. Apparently not. Apparently there's a lot of Mike T haters out there. So spoiler alert, this big Monday show we're going to be doing through my work at Heavy.com. It will be a former executive of the year. It will be a former NFL general manager, but no, not Mike Tannenbaum. So hopefully that curries some favor with some of the Jet fans. That'll be coming up next Monday. Things we've had on the channel this week. I was so blessed, speaking of my job, and USAA, a shout out to them. Again, I was, for those who don't know, and I hope we get to learn more about each other for all the new subscribers that have come in. I'm a military boy, born and raised. My dad spent 20 years in the United States Navy. He's my hero, and he's amazing. And obviously the military and discipline background set my work ethic and everything. And the man that I am today that's sitting here in front of you, I got a wonderful opportunity yesterday. It's up on the YouTube channel. You guys can check it out. I got to interview Devin Lloyd, the Utah product and considered the best linebacker in the 2022 NFL draft. And at worst, he's a top 2 linebacker right there in Nakobe Dean out of Georgia. And again, USAA gave us the opportunity to do that interview, and we got to talk about about his military background. We got to talk about teams that are interested in him. And I love having fun with guests. That's just who I am. And we're talking about what kind of approach are we going for with the commish live in Vegas? Is he going to dap it up and go in for the bro hug? Do you go in for the classic handshake? Put it there, pal. What do you do? So we will see. And he also even brought up, the videos out there. You guys could go check it out. He even thought about doing the fake handshake, kind of do a rip and swim move and grab the commish and lift him off his feet and kind of, hold him up in the air, which we've seen a few times at some of these NFL drafts. So that could be possible. So feel free to check out that interview. And I got to tell you, just a takeaway, because it seems unlikely in the current positioning of the Jets, who again sit at 4, number 10, 35, and 38. It seems like they're going to miss out on Devin Lloyd. First off, they've got a lot of other needs besides linebacker. Linebacker certainly is a need, obviously, and they had a visit with Quan Alexander this week. We could talk about that. But it's likely they're going to miss him. According to the ESPN Next Level Analytics that they provide, and it's a really cool service, is Devin Lloyd is expected to go somewhere between like number 12, more so like 15-ish range, like 15 to 21. That's like his range, according to all the analytics and studies that they do. And specifically, his most popular spot, or where he's expected with the highest probability to be taken, according to the Next Level Analytics, I love analytics, is 18 to the Eagles. So again, with the Jets sitting at 4 and 10, 4 is obviously too rich. 10 would still be too rich. So it would be surprising if they just said, screw the analytics, we're taking him at 10. But after talking with him, I would understand why. He's a very compelling young man. Obviously, he's built the right way. Shout out to his family and his parents who met in the Navy. Kind of a cool story there. You guys can check it out on the interview. And again, he's a man that's well put together, humble but confident. And at the end, I gave him kind of the pitch. Hey, look into the camera, Devin Lloyd, and just kind of give your pitch to NFL teams if they're watching. Why should they take a chance on you? And he just had, again, my engine was revved. If we had more time, we would have gotten into some more areas. We had a limited amount of time with the interview, but he just gave this wonderful pitch looking into the camera about, he wants to be great. He has a high standard for himself. He shares that high standard and will raise the level of play around his other teammates. I mean, that's exactly the kind of pick that you want in the draft. So if they take him, I will not be mad, because Devin Lloyd seems like a wonderful young man. And again, the future at linebacker is super questionable, obviously, for the New York Jets. Wonderful interview. That's a plug. Go check it out. And we've had a lot of great interviews with amazing guests this week. Dane Brugler, Austin Gale, Bruce Feldman, Mike Tannenbaum over the weekend, Emery Hunt, and so many more are coming. And Joe Caporoso yesterday for the Badlands 2022 Draft Guide. So we've had a lot of guests, but now I want to dive into the mailbag. I want to dive in to meet all you guys, talk questions, talk topics here on the Jet Zone, and we will. Let's get a couple of you guys involved here. Also, feel free, if you're watching on YouTube, again, I know we're in a lot of different places, and some people are listening to this after the fact on Spreaker. But for those who are watching right now, first off, hit the thumbs up button on the YouTube video if you can. We're trying to get as many subscribers as possible, so hit subscribe if you aren't already. But also, if you'd like a question to guarantee to be asked, you can skip to the front of the line on YouTube by doing a super chat, where you can either send a question, comment, or emoji, and it jumps in. You give a little tip, and you skip the line. So feel free to do that on YouTube. You support the channel and all the wonderful stuff we're doing here. I try to answer all your questions no matter what, but just in case. All right, let's go to some of these. We got Older Than Dirt Jets fan, aka Walt. Good afternoon, man. Good afternoon, guys. How are you? How are we doing? It's Snoopy, Deebo, and of course, why don't we start there? Obviously, it's Snoopy. In case you missed all the hoopla last night, I wrote about it last night and posted this morning for Heavy on Jets. I am the digital reporter for the New York Jets, and I write, basically that fancy title means I write a bunch of articles for the Jets, and I wrote about this. Long story short, Deebo's brother, Tyquan, went on this crazy rant on Facebook, apparently, and he said, we're demanding a trade. We're not going to be a 49ers or San Francisco. People don't even worry about it. And then eventually he went full reversal and said, I don't even know what my brother's doing. So I'm just speaking my mind here, even though he's the one who caused all the drama and said, we run with stuff, but he's the one who fed it. But anywho, I digress. There's just been a lot of, fodder potentially on a potential Deebo Samuel trade. Again, Deebo has wiped his social media because that's passive aggressive 2022. That's how you stomp your feet. Okay. I'm wiping you from my Instagram. That's how the kids operate these days, I guess. I don't know. I'm not in the know with all these dang kiddos, but wipe the Instagram. The friend on Instagram posted a picture and said, "Hey, if you don't have 25 million at least, then we're not listening." And Deebo liked the post and commented on the post. And then all this Deebo Samuel brother stuff yesterday. Here's the fact of the matter, folks. The 49ers would be absolutely goddamn bonkers to trade Deebo Samuel. I mean, it would make absolutely no sense. They were just in the NFC Championship game last year for people. Why would you trade Deebo Samuel? But if they're crazy enough and Deebo Samuel goes, screw you guys, I'm going scorched earth on this mother trucker, then okay. Then you may have no choice and he forces your hand. But if you're the 49ers, you give the man the blank check. He's Deebo freaking Samuel, man, running the ball, catching the ball. He is just your entire offense. Now, I would understand the hesitancy from the 49ers side for a few reasons. First off, Deebo has been injury prone since high school. So there's been injuries in high school. There's been injuries in college. There's been injuries in the NFL. There's a lot of injuries. Last year he looked good. And when he's good and healthy, he's phenomenal. But he's not always healthy. So, I would understand the hesitancy from that standpoint. Also, it's going to cost you a pretty penny. I mean, you heard it there on the Instagram post that at least 25 million per year. And God knows how much higher it could get. All these wide receivers are trying to top each other. Tyreek's getting 30 mil. Devontae Adams getting 28 and a half. Like DeAndre Hopkins at like 27 and a half. So there's a lot of mondo numbers out there. So that could be it. But if he's available, of course the Jets should do their homework. And again, if you're the Jets, you have the popcorn out, right? Joe Douglas and Robert Sala are sitting around the draft room going, this is phenomenal. This is great. We hope Deebo and A.J. Brown, who also had some comments earlier this week on social media, we hope they all blow up and go wild and go crazy. Because then they're sitting there with the picks and pressure creates diamonds. You have pressure here with only 8 days until the 2022 NFL draft, a week from tomorrow. And that's where things can sometimes get spicy and make things happen. Again, if you're a Jets fan, that's what you're hoping for. Worst case, of course, you just have 4 picks in the top 38, which is not a bad place to be. But if you could get one of these proven weapons, of course you do it. So a great start to the show there. It's Snoopy. Jared Helmuth, Paul, how's the kiddo? Zariah Luna Serenity Eston, my beautiful daughter, is doing amazing. Her mom is just a Wonder Woman. She does all the work. And, I'm just kind of here. I'm here so I don't get fined, so to speak. I'm Marshawn Lynch. The draft season is incredibly busy for me. Again, I'm doing these podcast appearances. I have my own show, The Jet Zone. I write for the Jets. I do sports talk radio. So she is amazing. I can't give her enough credit. I could not do what I do without her. And they say behind every strong man is an even stronger woman. And that couldn't be more true. So Zariah is doing amazing. Her mother is doing amazing. She's just doing a phenomenal job, and I am so blessed to have her in my life to be able to make these things possible. And this is my first draft season with a child, so it's just, your priorities change, when you have a kid. Not that, of course, we're not full on the NFL draft here, but again, it's just, it's phenomenally life-changing. And so she's doing amazing, and she's growing and doing all these crazy things. And, maybe I'll start a baby podcast and I can, dad stuff and kind of share some of that. But thank you for asking, Jared. That's very nice. All right. Okay on YouTube. I like the name. I want the greatest offensive line in Jets history. Ground and pound is back with Ike, which I'm assuming Icky at number 4. Oh, okay. I know you're going to piss a lot of people off. I'm going to piss a lot of people off. I think there is a path to this. Now, for me, I will say this, okay? I want Kayvon goddamn Thibodeau. I don't care what any of you people say in my comments. I don't care what you DM me. I don't care anything because I've had a lot of people say, Paul, Jermaine Johnson's a better guy or blah, 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 blah. I don't care what any of you people say, okay? I've done the tape study. I've talked to experts. I've talked to everybody. Kayvon Thibodeau is who I want. I wanted him last year. I still want him this year. I want him right now. I want him in a week. The dances and the partying that will happen when that pick and card gets turned in, and it's Kayvon Thibodeau, I will have the greatest reaction in history to a Jets selection. I want him so bad. I want him bad. I'm begging the gods to allow him to fall to the Jets. Now, to answer your question, Mr. Okay, here's the thing. The only way that I'd be okay with Icky again, I like Icky the player. Again, there's a compelling case to be made, is if KT's not on the board. And that's possible. Okay. There's a lot of Vegas smoke that indicates that KT could just go to Detroit, because here's how it could go in the draft. Again, this is one of the wildest drafts ever, which makes it a lot of fun. Number one overall, let's just say, for giggles, it's Aiden Hutchinson. Now the line's like, man, we want Aiden Hutchinson. I guess we'll go Kayvon Thibodeau. And then 3 is like Trayvon Walker or something to set up this scenario. Let's just go Trayvon Walker. So you go Aiden, you go KT, and then you go Trayvon Walker. And then you're sitting there at 4. If you're the Jets, do you think to yourself, we need an edge so bad, we're just going to take the 4th one off the board? I don't know if you sell that to yourself, especially Joe Douglas, who says BPA and all these other things. I think he would go, we're going Icky, or maybe Sauce. But I think Icky would probably be the pick in that scenario if they think that highly of him. So I'm fine with the greatest offensive line in history. Icky would immediately be a starter. You let Mekhi Becton and George Fant battle it out, and your starting tackle combination is, of course, Icky. And then whoever wins, we'll say Mekhi Becton for shits and giggles, as the kids say. And you got Laken Tomlinson, Elijah Tucker. Love that guard combination. Center Connor McGovern, or you trade back up for like a Tyler Linderbaum, and boom. If you want the greatest offensive line in history, that's it. You have Icky. You have Mekhi Becton. You have Elijah Vera Tucker. You have Laken Tomlinson. You got Tyler Linderbaum. Now that offensive line, sweet Caroline. Okay, now we're cooking with some gas. That's possible. But I like the chutzpah, ground and pound, baby. A good running game will only help Zach Wilson. Older than Dirt Jets fan, aka Walt, the Devin Lloyd interview was really good. And I know that normally on this channel, it is specifically, without a shadow of a doubt, exclusively New York Jets content. And this one in particular, technically, was not Jets related. They're really, the only thing I would have wished I would have asked is his interaction specifically with the Jets. I asked Devin Lloyd about his overall interest. And like I said, we had a limited time with one of these kind of sponsored interviews. So normally I like to talk to people for about 20, 25 minutes. We have enough time to kind of get to know each other and, all the pleasantries and things of that nature. But for those who are just fans of the draft, and the Jets could, of course, select Devin Lloyd, and then that interview is popping even more potentially, I think that's where you could get some love. But it was really good from my perspective. I just rewatched it this morning because I had to turn in an article about it as well. So to me, that was a lot of fun. Hi-yo! Again, we got a super chat jumping in here. NY2FLA Jets fan. Hey, Paul, great job with Jake. My biggest fear is if Aiden Hutchinson, Kayvon Thibodeau, and Icky goes first 3, what do we do it for? I'm going to be honest. And again, another shout out. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Every bit like this helps. It helps me do cool interviews. It allows me to pour even more resources into the channel. So just a shout out to anyone. If you want to cut the line, booyah, super chat, and you guarantee your question gets answered. I try to answer every question because I love talking to you guys, and this is why we do it. But if you want, you can super chat, send a tip, and cut the line, and make sure you jump to the front, as Jake Asman would say. And awesome. Thank you. The show with Jake was amazing. It was a lot of fun and cool interacting with all you guys. That is my fear personally. It's not just the 3 edge rushers go, because that's bad, I guess. But the one that I fear is Aiden goes, KT goes, and Icky. We're in the same boat. That's my biggest fear, because at 4, I'm so afraid of the Jets going Trayvon Walker. Now, as I've said in the past, and this is a PSA to every Jets fan out there on the planet, okay? Whoever the Jets draft, we may have, and I may have, if they take Trayvon Walker, I'm going to have a disgusting reaction. I'm just going to say that from the get-go. If somehow he's the 4th overall pick, I'm going to have an incredibly negative reaction to start. It's going to be negative. I'm going to tell you why I don't like the pick. I'm going to bring on experts to try to tell the full tale beyond just the negativity, but I'm going to be upset at that pick. That is just bluntly true. However, okay, after time, I think we should all give every pick a chance. We should always say that, the benefit of the doubt. Like, I hate Trayvon Walker, not like the person, just the prospect. I think it would be a terrible pick for the Jets. And I can explain why and go into that in a second. But at the end of the day, I will not just hate him for his life, go, man, I hope he busts out. Of course we all want him to work out. Whatever pick it is, we want them to work out. So that is my message to Jet fans everywhere, whether you don't like Icky, whether you don't like KT. I know there are people out there that think he's going to bust. Whoever it is, we all need to just buy in, okay? And we just need to embrace whoever they pick. And from there, of course, we'll make our conversations and fears. But NY2FLA Jets fan, we are in the same boat. For me, at that point, I believe the Jets would go Trayvon Walker, and that scares the crap out of me, to be honest. The other choice, of course, would be Sauce Gardner, but I think they would go Trench, but I think they would go Trayvon Walker. That's what they would do. What I would do is, of course, explore trade back options, and if that's not possible, I would probably go Sauce Gardner in that situation. Okay, we've got another super chat coming in. Again, I can't remind you guys enough. You can jump the line and make sure you guarantee your question or comment gets answered here on the show. So make sure you super chat and support the channel. Daniel Faust here. You are not related to Green Bean, right? Green? Well, I will say this. A few people have asked because, again, there's a little bit of a similarity. I got a little less color in the beard. Do got a couple of silvers in here if you look close enough. But no, there is no direct relation. Although some people have asked, and I said he's my father that I didn't know that I had. I mean, I have a nice father who spent 20 years in the Navy. He's great. But if I have like a second father, apparently it is Green Bean. We look similar. I guess we're both, how do I say? We're both passionate about the New York Jets. So we are not, Daniel, but I appreciate the comment. But I do love Green Bean. He is one of the best Jets content creators out there. And I'm not just saying that because you're bringing him up. I love Green Bean, man, and I love what he brings to the table, and he just is so unique. And then he has the Roller Coaster YouTube channel, too. He's just a unique dude. And I actually, announcement, I think I announced this before, but I would be joining them on their Crazy Jets panel with Matt O'Leary on day 2 of the draft, reacting live to picks and talking Jets. So, guys, make sure you check that out as well. We'll be doing that. We have a fun draft week planned for you guys. All right, let me try to jump back here. Again, if you super chat, you jump in line, and I try to see wherever I left off. Like I said, I always try to be respectful and answer everyone's question or comment because I just love you guys jumping on the channel and liking the video, hitting subscribe, and showing your support. That means the world. Like I said, before we started this, we're at like 1.42K subscribers, so keep showing the love. All right, let's see. Okay, Scott Collins on YouTube. Man, I don't like seeing the Vegas odds going up on KT going 2. I really wanted him at 4 and Sauce at 10. When I say it out loud, maybe I'm delusional to hope we get both. Go Jets. Scott, I'll tell you, my dream scenario is KT and Sauce because then you can trade up for the wide receiver or trade for Deebo, DK, whoever, and then just imagine that haul. Now, maybe it is crazy because it's hard to imagine Sauce getting past the Giants because I don't think they take him at 5, no matter what. I think they're going offensive line to pair with Andrew Thomas. So that could be Evan Neal, that could be Ike Ekwonu, whoever. And then if they're still there at 7, because they could trade, there's a lot of trade talk around the Giants. And when I submit my official mock draft at the beginning of next week, my first and final. Normally, I had an afternoon radio show where I did mock drafts every week, and you would see as it evolves with free agency and everything else. But I have not had my afternoon show for a few years with COVID, so I have not been required to do a weekly mock draft. So I may be a little rusty, but we'll see if I can just kind of hone it all in for that. But when I submit that next week for the radio show, my official first-round mock draft, full mock, we'll talk about it here on the show, I'm sure, is that would be my dream scenario again at 4 and 10. Give me KT, give me Sauce, double dip defense because obviously they need it. So, Scott, we're aligned there. And again, let's just keep speaking it into existence. I think that's the key. Keep speaking it into existence. Skills, baby. Lego Paul. Yes, sir. You bet. We bring the energy. We bring the chutzpah on this show. Ragnar Jets. Paul, if JD double dipped at wide receiver and took Jameson in the first round, which are your 2 favorite guys you pick beyond the first round to be the second wide receiver to go with Jameson? Ragnar, this is a phenomenal question. Let's see. And I mentioned this on the Jake Asman show. For me, if I double dipped at wide receiver, which again, I think would be a must if you select Jameson Williams, I think you can't go 35-38. Again, it would be sexy if that's how you double dipped and you got, again, whoever the guy is, Jahan Dotson, Sky Moore, George Pickens even. If you went in that direction, I could understand, again, because it would be sexy. No one would say, oh, man, I really hope that doesn't happen. I mean, we should all be excited if something like that were to happen because, again, it would just be so exciting. But I think the Jets just, quite frankly, have too many needs where, to me, I feel like it would be malpractice to be using your assets in that direction. But if we're going beyond the first round, and quite frankly, I'm going to go even beyond the second round. I want to go beyond that. To be honest, to go a little bit deeper for you, Ragna. One player I really like is Khalil Shakir. Out of Boise State, the Jets coached him down at the Senior Bowl. He's a very talented player, 6 foot flat, 196 pounds. He's a little smaller, but PFF described him as a human highlight reel, and I think that is very appropriate. He is just a super talented player. The Jets like him a lot. Keep an eye out for that name, okay? I threw that out there. Khalil Shakir. He's a guy I would really like. You said two favorite guys. Okay, so Khalil Shakir would be the guy again. He'd be after the second round. He'd be like, maybe a third round as a guy that you would take. And here's a dart throw guy, okay? He's a name that you guys should remember, but there's a lot of red flags around this to take a chance. And maybe that's not the right combination because if you take Jameson, you're taking a risk there. So maybe your second guy should have a higher floor. But I would be awfully tantalized by Justin Ross out of Clemson. 6'4", 205. Again, there is an extensive injury history with what was a very promising career. So that is somewhat concerning, but I would be tempted to dance the dance that would certainly bring to the table. Another guy, I'll just kind of throw a dart throw here out of Baylor, Tyquan Thornton, who is a speed demon at 6'2", 181 out of Baylor. He's another one I would like. But again, I do want to go to the point, Ragnar, that you said that again, if you go Jameson Williams, which I'm perfectly okay with, that Peter Schrager mock, which again we could talk about for a second, based on sources he's hearing, had KT and Jameson Williams to the Jets, that would be the home run of home run drafts. That would be so exceptional by every level. No Jet fan could be angry at that. That is so good, and I would love it. So certainly would be the case. But those are my guys. Khalil Shakir, I actually gave you three. Justin Ross, and then Tyquan Thornton would be another one. Great question, though, Ragnar. I love that question. Charles M. As good as it is for Zach Wilson, it's too early to trade for a big money wide receiver. We have too many holes to fill. I'd feel pretty good keeping the picks and grabbing Williams and Watson or Pickens in the second. Charles, here's the great thing about where the Jets are at is they have options. They can do whatever they want. If they stay at the picks, no one should be mad. If they stay where they are, again, outside of trading within the draft, outside of the trade for a big pay wide receiver, but even if you stay somehow at all these picks in the 9 spots, I don't think that's going to happen. I think they'll move around the draft board, but even still, you stay there, you're getting 4 guys in the top 40. Those are 4 instant starters, probably on both sides of the football in some way or another. That would be terrific. Now, the one thing I would just push aggressively a slight bit is the too early to trade for a big money wide receiver. Relatively speaking, I don't think there is a too early to trade for a guy that's just going to help you immediately. Again, I get it. Now, if it's like, Tyreek was more so in this range, a 30-year-old wide receiver where his window is this, and then you grab him. But the difference with all these other guys is like DK Metcalf is 24, Deebo Samuel's young, AJ Brown's young. Like all these guys are the rookie contracts. That to me makes me feel a little bit different about getting it. And plus, when you bring those guys in, you just make things better for Zach Wilson. Things naturally progress. Things are naturally better. So I would aggressively, just slightly, push back on that, Charles. I love you, man. That's the one thing I'd push back because it's always good to have more help for Zach Wilson. But I get your point. And the point is, and some Jet fans get upset by this, but I would be okay being aggressive with the picks they have. Take guys. There's really talented guys in this draft. All right, let's go to Big Daddy here. Paul, you rock. I'm 100% with you on KT at 4 and Jameson at 10. Again, that was the Peter Schrager mock draft. He's a co-host on the Good Morning Football Show, which, by the way, let's all give a warm shout-out to Connor Rogers, our guy, co-host of the Badlands feed, lead draft analyst for Bleach Report, making his national television debut earlier today. Applause all around. I had the alarm set. I woke up, made sure I was up, and recorded it. You can check it out on my Twitter. His debut, kind of the first introduction, and I grabbed a couple of his bits. So you guys certainly go check that out. Major shout out to Connor Rogers. He's a goddamn superstar. I love Connor Rogers. He's been a good friend for a long time before even all the national television fame. And I'm so happy for the guy. But his cohort there on Good Morning Football, Peter Schrager said those two. And to me, yes, sir. I would love that. Back to Big Daddy. Dan Campbell trash KT is a possible number 2 pick for the Lions at number 2. Yeah, I heard the Bleacher Report story on that. I kind of did it as a joke and reshared it on Twitter like, good, yes, excellent. Now, is it real? I don't know. We'll figure out with all the smoke screens. Again, we're 8 days away from the draft, so there's going to be a lot of crap flying at the wall. I hope so, because, again, I want KT so bad. Oh, Bart Simpson. I love the show. I love The Simpsons. All right, let's bring it in. Hypothetical. You trade Ford to New Orleans for 16-19. You draft Wilson at 10, Williams at 16, Carl Loftus at 19, Linderbaum if available, or safety at 35, linebacker at 38. Oh, good Lord. Wide receiver is good for the next decade. Okay, let me break this down piece by piece. So I'll tell you on the surface, I'm not, before I even evaluate your scenario, I'm not a big fan of trading Ford to 16 and 19. First off, the Saints have to pay a major tax to move up, so I'm going to need more than that. And just in general, I wouldn't be for it. I love the players you could get it for. But let's play out your scenario. So you trade back from 4, and then again, you have 10, 16, 19, and everything else you have 35, 38. So Garrett Wilson at 10, fine. He's a very solid player. He's not in my top 2 wide receivers. He's not in my top 3 wide receivers, but I understand the love for Williams. Wilson, and then Jameson Williams, I'm assuming at 16. So that's a little confusing with the double wide receivers in the first round, but okay. Carl Loftus, I'm not a big fan of. Just don't think he has the juice and the bend to be a high ceiling player. I think he would be a fine, low floor Leonard Williams type, but that doesn't really titillate me. I'm fine with Linderbaum or safety at 35. Jaquan Brisker's a guy I like. Dax Hill, if he's there, is interesting. Jalen Petrie could make sense. A Senior Bowl guy, or linebacker like Nakobe Dean or something if he slips, or safety at 38. Wide receiver would be good for the next decade in your scenario. The double dip at wide receiver, we still get our defense, but again, for that, that's just too much, whiff-waffing to me, quite frankly. Again, for the Jets, I'm cool trading back from 10. There's going to be someone that wants to move up. But 4, it's just a quality pick. There are blue-chip players in this draft, like Kayvon Thibodeau, who I've talked about. I just don't think it's worth dropping back for that. Unless if you try, and again, when I want to trade back, I want to dominate trades. I don't just want to, it worked out for both sides. Like trading back to 16, 19, I better get like a first rounder next year. Like I'm going aggressive, and they don't have that, obviously, because they traded that away to the Eagles. But that's what I mean. I want to bend them over the barrel when I'm winning a trade. So that's one thing I would consider. All right, let's keep going here. Okay likes it. Bart, I'm down for that. Again, that would be aggressive, and I like the creativity, though. That's really nice. John Hepburn, hey, Paul, welcome to the show. Again, I see we have a bunch of people in the chat. Again, guys, if you're not a subscriber already, make sure you show your support. Even if you're watching right now on Facebook or Twitter, or even if you're listening on Spreaker later, open up a new tab. Go to youtube.com/boygreet25. Hit the thumbs up on the video and hit subscribe. Like I said, we were hovering at about 1.42K, something like that. Shout out to the Jake Asman Show for the nice little pop there on the channel. But we're trying to get to 2,000 subscribers. So, guys, help us get there. This is all Jets content all the time. And feel free, on top of the live streams, to check out the other interviews. Devin Lloyd, Dane Brugler, Bruce Feldman, Connor Hughes, Damian Woody. So many awesome guests and more to come here soon. Big Daddy, yeah, we need to trade back at 4 if that worst case scenario happens. Again, the big thing always to remember is it takes 2 to tango, people. Like, you want to trade back, and then other people are going to be like, well, none of the guys we wanted are up, so that could be a point. And I wrote this story, actually, I think it was last week, about why you can't just trade to trade. A good example, let's go back to the Quinnen Williams draft. Remember, the Jets had the number 3 overall pick, and leading up on that day, there was buzz, there was smoke, there was fire that the Buffalo Bills, who sat at number 9, wanted to move up to number 3 to take Quinnen Williams. The Jets and Bills talked all day long and tried to get a deal done, and basically the Bills said, we're not giving up a ton. We'll move up and give you this, that, or the other. And a lot of Jet fans said, man, we got to move back. We got to pick up more. We could get more. And the Jets eventually and ultimately said, screw it, we're going to take Quinnen Williams. And Quinnen Williams has been a really solid player. We could talk about him later. But the point is, you don't just trade back to trade. I don't want to just trade to 9 and get like either, less value than you should or just equal value. You should win trades. And again, that's just a good example from history of why, again, you can't just trade to trade. And also, guys, if you're in here on YouTube right now, I'm trying to go through all of these questions so I don't miss any, but you can skip the line. If you super chat, send an emoji, comment, question, or topic. You skip the line, give a tip, help support the channel. So feel free. I highly encourage you guys do that and get a cool shout out from me on the show too. All right. Oh, it looks, speak of the devil, we just got another one in here. Let me skip all the way down and wow. Okay, let's go to Rashawn Josie. hypothetically speaking, what do you think about trading our 2 second-round picks for a high first? What teams would you think would do it, and who would you pick up if we had 3 firsts, 410, the one we trade for? Wow, Rashawn, thank you so much for the very juicy super chat. This may be the highest super chat we've ever had in the history of this, so thank you so much. So let's see. Hypothetically, what do you think about trading our 2 second-round picks for a high first? So first off, on the surface of that, I am totally on board. Again, quality over quantity. Dane Brugler actually said that in a recent interview. What teams would you think you would do it with? And who would you pick up if we had 3 firsts, 410, and the one we trade for? So let's see. What teams would I think would do it? Like teams that are like so one team that could make sense is Minnesota at 12. Again, we have to pull out the draft value chart, and I'll do that in a second here to try to see how high you could get with just 35 and 38 and not, sacrificing anything else. But Minnesota could make sense. If Derek Stingley's not on the board, he could go 9 to Seattle. Then all of a sudden they go, you know what? We're a new regime. We need more picks for the future. So they could do that where 35 and 38. And if you could get up to 12, like I said, actually, let me do that right now. I'm going to go pull up the draft value chart while we're here on the show. Let me just take a quick peek as we're doing this live. NYJ, so okay, we would have that'd be about it's over 1,000 points, so 1,070 points. So that would put us at right around 15 with the Eagles. That technically would be an even trade. So let's go to the Eagles to use your example. That would be, according to the latest NFL draft value chart, that would be an equal trade going from 35-38. It's about 1,075 points. That would be about as equal as it gets to the Philadelphia Eagles at 15. If they did that and you're thinking 15, of course, wide receiver comes into play. Because again, what will slip? Edge rushers are not going to slip. So you better get that early. So Kayvon Thibodeau, again, is a guy that I was talking about. Then you could go with whatever else you want, whether that's offensive line, whether that's corner. And then if you can move up to 15 as part of this example, from that standpoint, then you could get your wide receiver. Guys I would like, guys I would be willing to trade up for. First off, Traylon Burks, he's on the list. Jameson Williams, he's on the list. I think Jameson Williams would be an insane fit in this offense. He is just so spectacular. Vertical element, give Zach Wilson the rocket arm to the deep guy that can make plays down the field. That would be phenomenal if we can. So that would be one that I would just say is like juicy, juicy, if they would go from that standpoint. So again, those are guys. I'm trying to think of other guys. Devin Lloyd, we just did the interview with him. So Devin Lloyd would make a lot of sense as well. But Rashawn, way to break records, man. That's so cool. So thank you so much. Breaking records, baby. You bet your sweet cheeks. And another super chat just coming in from NY2FLA Jets fan. What? Wait, what? Deebo just requested a trade? Boy, are you guys playing with me? Deebo just requested a trade? Let me pull this up on Twitter. What are you guys talking about? Requested a trade? Deebo Samuel? Where is this? Deebo Samuel just requested? Breaking news? Jeff Darlington? What? I just spoke to wide receiver Deebo Samuel. He told me that he has asked the 49ers to trade him. He did not want to discuss specific reasons behind this request, but he has indeed let the 49ers know he's decided to leave the organization. What? Deebo Samuel requested a trade? Holy cannoli! Whoa! All right, let's throw everything off there. Deebo Samuel just requested a trade? Oh my. Wow. Okay, Jets, let's go, baby. Let's rally the troops. It's time to bring them on in. Oh, my goodness gracious. Sweet Caroline. Oh, my. Yeah, it's time to move, baby. Tyreek Hill package. Again, the Jets can't get beat for a wide receiver. And, man, Deebo's tantalizing. The age, the scheme familiarity, Mike LaFleur, John Benton, Robert Saleh. Oh, baby. Oh, man. Look at this. This is amazing. I got to just tell you guys real quick before I even answer your question, which again, I didn't even answer your question yet because what? You requested a trade? Oh, my, from Jeff Darlington. Oh, my gosh. That was amazing. Oh, man. These breaking things. I got to tell you guys, real quick story. When the Tyreek Hill thing came across, right, and it was like, hey, man, he could be traded. I'm like, oh, wow, I wonder where he could go. And then all of a sudden they said Jets and Dolphins are like finalists. I was like, And I was like, because again, for my job, for Heavy on Jets, I just wrote a Deebo Samuel story this morning, so my partner will be able to get this article in particular up, unless she gets sent to the Jets, and we're going to be cooking, baby. But and again, when this kind of stuff comes out, that means a trade is imminent, and things are going to happen. We will see, of course, how that breaks. Oh my gosh, that's amazing! Oh man, this is so cool. Oh my God, I don't even know what to do with myself right now. But that was it. So my story, back to the story real quick. Well, we were just, I was trying to type the story because again, I'm a fast typer, so I could write stories pretty quick. But I was like I did keep breathing because I'm like, oh my, Tyreek Hill, who would have thought this guy could be traded? But anywho, to answer your question, NY2FLA Jets fan, God, this is amazing right now. Wow, this is so cool. Okay, Deebo just requested a trade. Stop thinking London doesn't separate, no speed, no 40 time. If you're going to gamble, you go James at 10, won't be receiver. Will come to the Jets with similar package to KC. Oh my God. Because here's the thing, quickly on the Deebo Samuel thing, because if the 49ers, okay, their first pick is until 61. They would be super open to 35, 38, and potentially making a trade happen. But again, 35, 38, and 69. If they would do that deal, that would be amazing. Again, London, the separate questions. Here's the thing. I think he's a big body. He reminds me of Brandon Marshall. Maybe not as much chutzpah in terms of the speed. I'd have to pull some of that up. But I got to tell you, I really love London. But right now, Deebo Samuel, he's got to be the mission. And oh my goodness, another super chat. A record was just broken again here. Oh my goodness. Let me try to find this one. Somebody, a $20 tip on YouTube. This is amazing. Okay, let me pull this up. Just a tip, Charles M. If you have a tip with it, that's amazing. Or if that's another record was just broken, 1999. Charles M. Thank you so much, man. That's amazing. He just requested a trade. Oh my gosh. Wow. Oh, man, we are on another level right now. Guys, continue to support the channel. These super chats are amazing. Feel free to send them, to the channel for the support. Oh, my God. People say, I had all these wonderful topics here we're going to talk about on the show. Throw them off the table. Deebo just requested a trade. Oh, my gosh. This is amazing. Oh, my God. I'm just trying to get to your comment. Now we're overloading with comments, baby. Oh, my gosh. Okay. Yeah, that's it, Rashawn. I got to tell the fiance, there's no way that I can stop the stream now. We just got to keep streaming for the next 10 hours until he goes. Weeks, days, years. We just got to go. Rashawn, I think you're right. 100%. Oh my God. Can you imagine? First off, you just got my reaction to, oh my God, Deebo Samuel just requested a trade. And now if he gets traded on air and we have that reaction, oh my, that could be historic. Oh my laptop, this is amazing. Guys, keep dropping in your questions. Oh my God, that was wild. Oh, another one. Thank you so much, NY2FLA Jets fan, for all these wonderful things. This is amazing. You're welcome. Love breaking news. I'm glad I could get you as excited as I am. I think we'll keep 10, but lose 35, 38, 69. I think so too. And here's the thing. I'm not really conflicted because again, oh my gosh, I'm kind of giddy. I'm sweating. I wore the hoodie because I'm I like the old school stuff. You get the cool Jets logo on the hat, but I am sweating right now profusely, quite frankly. This is, oh my God, Deebo Samuel. Oh my God. Okay, so let's try to talk about this. I need to get a drink. Okay, yeah, let's get some water. Okay, everybody, wherever you're drinking, cheers up for Deebo Samuel, baby. Wet the whistle. Anywho, okay. Again, 10 would be rich for me. But here's the thing on the 10 conversation. Who is going to beat that? Who else is going to offer higher than 10? That's the big reason. It's not just the Tyreek Hill package, right? 35, 38, 69 is super competitive. I don't know who can beat that offer, quite frankly. Maybe there's a team at the back end of first round pick, similar to Miami, that offers something to that effect. And this is going to get a crazy bidding war potentially. Now that he's officially requested a trade, Joe Douglas and them are calling right now. We just know. And of course, they have their prior relationship. But again, I just don't know if 10, if it ends up being 10. Again, here's the one thing I'll say. I said this on the Jake Asman show. I'll say this now. Excuse me. If you trade 10, right, and you keep 35, 38, 69, I want to say this. The normal average NFL team has one pick per round. That's how it works. Without any trades, you have one pick, 1 through 7. The Jets, if they traded 10, again, I would prefer the 35, 38, 69 package. But if they gave away just 10, and that would be as much, and then maybe a pick back from San Francisco, if you're giving up that, then you still have fourth overall, 35, 38, and 6'9", and all the rest of them that you have, and you're in great shape. You solve wide receiver. Booyah! Deebo Samuel's your new wide receiver. That is solved. That is fixed. That is finished. So, quite frankly, while I want to keep 10, and I would love to keep 10, 2 first-round picks are great, but boy, you would still have everything else to solve edge rusher and all these other things. Sweet Caroline. This is the craziest NFL offseason of all time. Not that it was even up for debate before this Deebo Samuel bombshell dropped in the middle of the show, for Pete's sake, but oh my gosh, this is wild. But that's what I would say. For any of you fans out there, if it ends up being 10, because I'm not really on Twitter right now because we're doing this show, so I'll try to pull up Twitter a little bit here if things keep getting crazy. But keep dropping your questions, comments, topics, and random thoughts on, oh my gosh, Deebo Samuel. Wow. Whoa, mamacita. But good Lord have mercy. Oh, God. Oh, man, I am so pumped here. But, I think you keep 10. But even still, no matter what you do, let's just say you lose 35, 38, and 69. Okay, then you have 4 and 10 plus Deebo Samuel. What? And now, going back to whoever said that earlier, right? Remember the KT Sauce or KT Stingley, whoever? You get that double dip, and you got Deebo Samuel? Oh, my. AFC, look out. They're like, I don't know about the Jets. We got Russell Wilson, all these other guys. Screw you guys, man. Zach Wilson, Deebo Samuel, Elijah Moore, Corey Davis, Michael Carter, this defense, Kayvon Thibodeau, Carl Lawson, perhaps, CJ Mosley. Okay. Now we're cooking, baby. Woo, I am so pumped up right now. Guys, if you have any questions, comments, topics, or what have you, feel free to drop them in. And again, the super chat to skip the line, because now I don't even know where the hell we are right now. I don't even know what my name is. So if you want to skip all these comments, because there is no way on this God green earth I could get through all these, you got to make sure you super chat to skip the line and make sure you get this answer, because we are in crazy time. We are officially in Deebo watch. Wow. Oh, my. Okay, let's try to pull up a couple of these. Mike G. Deebo. You bet it. Oh, my. Facts about to go troll the Grant stream. Go ahead, baby. Keep trolling away. This is amazing. Oh, boy. And let's see. Jets gang, it's good Miami got Hill because Deebo was going to Miami. Maybe that could have made sense. I saw him wearing the Deebo, like, Miami colored stuff, and people were kind of going crazy. But wow, this is wild stuff. And again, Deebo's younger. He has more injuries and not as proven as Tyreek Hill, but still, you have to be excited with him. Okay. Zecker, I think we need to temper expectations, though. Y'all, yes, to want to come here. We won't commit major draft capital unless he agrees to an extension. And of course, that has to be talked about. The main reason, I would imagine, again, I'm not on Twitter right now. I'm with you guys on the stream, but the main reason for the trade is money related, and some of the other things. Obviously, there was some very disgusting, on a very serious note, there's some very disgusting racial and death threats thrown at Deebo Samuel recently. So that's, obviously we're going too far here, people, on that stuff. Can we keep it professional for the love of it, calming down for a second? Can we, come on, people, let's not go that far. But we do need to temper expectations. But at the same time, no, we don't. It's the off season. This is speculation and hope and possibilities all over the world, man. Of course, we can't just rein it in, Zecker. So don't be a party pooper, pal. Let's dream the magical dream if we can. This is amazing. Okay, let's keep going. Man. Getting him would be awesome, though. You bet your sweet cheeks it would be. Deebo Samuel? This is one of the craziest things in history. All these people said, no way Deebo Samuel gets traded. And look, we are on April 20th at 1:07 p.m. Eastern time. And there's a chance Deebo could get traded before we end this live stream. Oh, my. This is just so great. Ah, boy. Okay. It legitimately might take 10. It could be, and it could be. And again, even if it does, and again, it's not like I'm advocating, man, let's give up 10. Let's get 4 and 10. Let's go crazy. No. I'm not saying any of that. But if you give up 10, you're still in a good spot. You still have 1 first and 2 seconds. It's not like you've jeopardized the future. You're still in a pretty good spot. The Jamal Adams trade provided the luxury to make these moves. And guys, can you think about that for a second before we just talk about this pick, that pick? Technically, Jamal Adams could possibly deliver Deebo Samuel and Elijah Vera Tucker That is the most hilarious thing I've ever heard. If that happens, are you kidding me? Jamal Adams, the guy that we were whining and debating about and all this other crap, he could deliver Deebo Samuel and Elijah Vera Tucker. This is hilarious. This is phenomenal. Oh, that would be so funny. Okay, it's just the craziest show in history. Let's just try to get some of these comments in here. Charles, yes, I would say for both sides, quite frankly, or you're just crazy. That's the reason why. So here's the thing. Let's go back to the Jets Tyreek Hill thing for a second. And guys, keep sending in the breaking news if you can, so we can all enjoy this together. But Jets Tyreek Hill could have happened, but the Jets wanted a contract extension. Tyreek Hill wanted a contract extension. So that was another piece to the puzzle. Like the Jets and Chiefs have the trade locked in. They're like, cool, we would take 35, 38, and 69. But the contract extension was so important, or you'd have like a one-off where you'd only be on for a one-year deal. Then you have the franchise tag. But then again, as you can just see, they can just say, screw you. I'm requesting a trade. You better trade my ass or else, and go scorched earth. So that's just another thing to keep in mind. But oh my. So long story short, go back to your thing again, because things are a little crazy right now. So I'm sorry. I apologize for being a little scatterbrained, but he would have to agree to a contract extension before the deal could go through. But it can move around very quickly. Obviously, with him requesting a trade, they can open up the trade wins. Basically, every team calls, they agree to compensation with the team first, and then same thing as Tyreek Hill. Then they immediately shift that down and allow the players, or excuse me, the player representation to then speak with the team to hammer out the deal. So keep that in mind. Wow, there's like this is the most comments we've had. This is like a million comments. So I have no idea where we're going. This is wow. Oh my God. I can tell you're a big Full House fan. I'm going to be honest, I've never seen that show in history. That may be just a weird hot take. I've never seen that show. So it doesn't have like the Olsen twins on it, maybe? I'm sorry. I may sound like an idiot. I don't really know anything about that, to be honest. Let's see. If we take Deebo, still get a second receiver that can produce right away, I still think Jameson. If not, no, that would be too aggressive, probably. I think you have to go, because you had Deebo. He, of course, contributes immediately. You have Elijah Moore. You have Corey Davis. You have Braxton Berrios. So I don't agree with that. Again, it maybe in the second round, but it depends what you lose. Do you lose 10? Do you lose 35, 38, 69? I think you have too many other needs. You would immediately go all in and go for edge rusher and everything else. So, guitarist, I don't mind giving up 10 if it was going to be a wide receiver anyway. Forget about it. Shoot for the moon. Yeah, sure. Yeah. I think there's a compelling case to be made. Let's see. Let's go to Allen here. Jets trade 35, 38, 69 to Deebo and for 134. Because, again, that would be the similar thing. Remember, when they traded to the Chiefs, they got 101, I think, in return in the proposed trade. Jets draft Kayvon at 4, trade 10 to KC for 29, 30, and 94. Let's get this thing right. Now, that's possible, sure. Because, again, that's the other thing people don't think about is even if you gave up whatever you gave up, right? Let's say it's a 35, 38, 69 package. You can then recoup any picks you lost by trading back. So this would be great. And oh my God, here you go, Doctician. Let's smash the like button, baby. This is the greatest stream in history. Are you kidding me? Like the video. Hit subscribe. Let's get those subscribers up. Maybe we could get it to 2,000 before Deebo Samuel's here. I mean, that would be beautiful. Oh my God, this is amazing. Okay, Talking Jets with Tigo. The reason he requested trade has nothing to do with money, according to a lot of people on Twitter. Okay, again, I am learning it from you guys. This is unbelievable. I'm trying to catch up on anything. Wow, this is just great. I'm trying to peek around on Twitter to see if there is anything else here. I'm seeing everyone talk about Deebo Samuel. I'm seeing a lot of that on if it makes sense. Like Jet Press just tweeted out, the most likely destination is the Chiefs. Nightmare scenario is the Patriots. But if the football gods have a heart, it's the Jets. That's kind of cool. 49ers got to be willing to make him. The Jets make too much sense here. I'm just seeing all kinds of reactions. Like Twitter, this is the best time to be on Twitter. I just have to say. Like when things like this happen, the Tyreek Hill thing, even when you're just refreshing for more information, it can't come fast enough. Like, oh, guys, this is amazing. He probably wants Hill money. I'm sure the 20. Well, it's significantly different. If he only wants 25, only I know in quotations, but Tyree got 30 million. If it's 5 million less per year on a 4 or 5 year deal, we're talking about 25 million in money. So we will keep an eye on that. And again, guys, make sure that you super chat to jump in line because I've completely lost control of wherever we were in the comments. Post Samuel crazy news. This is wild. Okay. Can we get away with giving less since we're in the AFC and they won't have to play against him often? He's voiced he's not happy there. No, because then Chiefs, Bills, every other top AFC team, whoever, name them all, would immediately then give it. So no, I don't think so. Maybe they do a solid for Saleh and LaFleur, but I don't think so. It's not like they're just giving away players. Like, despite the relationship may help them nail a deal down because Shanahan and LaFleur and everybody are so close and they're like brothers, basically. Well, I mean, Mike LaFleur and Matt LaFleur are, but the Packers have nothing to do with this. So maybe they help them be the team like, hey, we'll let you match any offer, essentially. Maybe, but no way they just give them a deal. That's too optimistic, but I love the thought. If we did get Deebo, I would literally explode. If we get Deebo, and someone's just going to do it because it'll jump to the top. Someone will pay the greatest super chat price in history to let me know. And when I see that come across oh my, who knows if this is going to break right now? Like, I'm kind of peeking around on Twitter again. That would be the greatest moment in this show's history. But if it happened, or will it happen? That's the thing I'm saying. I'm just seeing a lot of people talking about it, but I feel like it wouldn't be released in this way unless there was something happening here, like that it was even possible. Like we are obviously going to have to. I'm seeing this as some people are like hitting me up on every social media right now, and I am like so missing all of this, that they say that reaction is going to have to get cut up, and I certainly will put it out there if that happens, and even if not. I mean, this is great. Also, I have to obviously give a shout out here to Krista Levides on Twitter, who has been tweeting every day at Braxton Berrios. We remember that, right? And now she's been tweeting every day at Deebo Samuel, and now this happens. Like, she may be magic. We may need to get our lottery numbers from Krista Levides on Twitter, who's That's So Krista, obviously worth a follow on Twitter. She has been doing God's work right now, obviously. So that would be terrific. But oh my gosh, this is just, I don't even know what to say right now. I am so just flabbergasted that this is happening. Wow. Okay, let me try to see some of these comments here. You guys are crazy. I have no idea where we are. All right. Anyone, if you guys got random questions, topics, comments here, I'm going to try to randomly go through and catch up on these. Yep. Chiefs Packers have multiple first, John Kerloffel. So they're definitely in the hunt. No question. They should be. Quite frankly, if that's something the 49ers are interested in, whether quantity or quality, they have compelling packages. Jets can't give up 10, so we get the 3 more players, which again, you need both quality and quantity. So there's an argument to be made to give up 10 and then keep 35, 38, 69. Let's see. I'm trying to catch up on a lot of these random ones. Let's see. Oh, the Deebo thing, it just got posted. Wow. And man, that's so cool. So this is really cool to me. VR Doggo. Subscribe to your channel based on appearance on Jake's show yesterday. Love the energy. And again, people, a lot of people have asked me, Paul, is this fake? You can ask my fiance, is this the energy and everything you bring? This is just how I attack life. I'm an optimistic person by nature. I'm a very expressive, emotional person. So for all the new people who are either watching or recent subscribers from the Jake Asman show yesterday, this is true. This is it. This is who I am. So this is crazy. And wow, other people are like leaving the show. That's so funny. Holy crap! I'll be right back. I got to go make a video about this. So that's this is great. Wow, this is oh my, this is amazing. Okay, let me try to see. Wow, this is this is like the greatest reaction in history. This is so cool. Okay. Let's see. Oh, I'm getting a lot more comments in now. Okay, so let's see. Okay, let me jump here. Talking Jets with Tigo. Protect her at all costs. That is the mission for Jet fans. That's phenomenal. Secret Service. Yes, find where Krista is and go protect her at all costs. She is the magic potion. If Chris has magic powers by spamming players to sign contracts, we might need to get her a contract herself. Pay the woman. I'm all about it. After we pay Deebo Samuel, we may have a couple of quarters under the couch. Pay her too. I love it. And by the way, so what a cool move by the Jets. I know we're going back a couple of weeks, but come on, you've got to, it's so cool that the Jets. So Braxton Barris noticed it, his mom noticed it, and then they reached out and did a whole video production for the Jets. That's so cool, man. That's a really boss move by the Jets. Okay, talking Jets with Tico. If Deebo happens, how would you pivot the draft plan for both scenarios? If you trade 10 or the trade is a Tyreek Hill package, how would you pivot the offseason? So again, even with the thought of Tyreek Hill initially, obviously you're going like aggressive. You're telling your team, and I love the message it sends, quite frankly, where you tell everyone, you say, hey, we're going for it. We're going for the jugular. In this crazy arms race in the AFC, we're going for it. So I think that sends a great message to the team that we're not playing around. We're done with the rebuild. We're done with all this other bull crap. We're going for the jugular, which I love. But how do you pivot the draft plan? So let's trade 10 first, okay? So you still have 4, 35, 38. Again, at 4, I go edge rusher. Now you don't pick from 4 until all the way at 35. So that just is what it is, but it's a benefit pro con of the Deebo Samuel contract. So you get your edge, I'd get Kayvon Thibodeau. Then go to 35, 38. That's where I try to address some of those other issues. You could go offensive tackle to ensure Zach Wilson's protection. You have to do that. And then whatever the other position ends up being, because wide receiver gets solved, that would have been 10 in the instance. So 10 would have been wide receiver anyway, probably. So you solved that. And then 35, 38. Like I said, I would get an offensive tackle, because if Mekhi Becton goes down, you can't just have the whole house of cards collapse. That would be malpractice. So you probably go tackle there, and then whoever, safety, corner. I would love that. Let's reverse it. Okay, let's reverse that and say you have 4-10, but you lose like kind of the depth of your class in the middle with both of your second rounds and your third rounder. And then after 10, you don't pick all the way till the fourth round, which is such a huge gap in time. That would be incredibly tough potentially with that going on. But in that particular scenario, again, you have your wide receiver. Then I probably go in some combination, either edge corner. So again, the dream scenario we talked about earlier, where you go kind of KT, and then you go like Sauce Gardner. I would feel phenomenal with the double dip on defense for Saleh. You have Deebo Samuel for the offense, and then you figure out the rest from your draft plan. The other possibility is, like I said, you could go, and I don't love the Jermaine Johnson aspect of this, but you could go Icky at 4, ensure the offensive line, Jermaine Johnson at 10, because corner, you could probably survive at corner. Like, I love Sauce, and I think there's a conversation to be had about Stingley. But if you have DJ Reed Jr., you got Michael Carter II in the slot, and then you go over to the other spot with Brandon Eccles, Bryce Hall, whatever, you can survive with that group probably. But, I mean, you could get better. Obviously, that's why we talk about Sauce and those. So the other pivot point potentially is like Icky Ekwonu, like Jermaine Johnson at 4 and 10. That could make a lot of sense too. But I love the question. That's great. And John Hepburn, that is true. No coffee, but no sponsorship for free here, but I am a Mountain Dew guy. So that may be where I get some of the energy, but I've not had a Mountain Dew today. That is true. Hey, Jet fans. Hey, howdy diddly. Thanks for hopping in, everybody. This is the craziest stream of all time. Charles M. Apparently Deebo wants to get paid as a top receiver and extra money for his role as a running back. Taking 60+ hits as a back. I don't blame him, but that's a steep price to pay. Yeah, that's why the conversation, both I'm sure from the 49ers side and potentially whatever team, is complicated, because he's not just a receiver. He's not just a running back. And I don't blame Deebo Samuel and his agent saying, hey, we do both, so you better pay us extra. The 49ers probably, I'm assuming here, this is just me speculating, they probably say, well, you're not a receiver or a running back. You're both. So we're going to pay you somewhere in the middle. Like if the top running back price is, I don't know what the number is off the top of my head, but 15, 16 million a year. And then the top wide receiver is 30. Let's break even. Let's call it 20. Let's call it 22. 22 and a half maybe. And then I'm sure the Samuel camp went, go kick rocks, pal. We don't want that. So it's a complicated negotiation, because which side do you go to? Deebo is coming off one really good year. The other one showed pops, but he's been injured his entire career. So of course he wants a financial security just in case he gets a crazy injury. So it's a very complicated negotiation here, as opposed to like an A.J. Brown or a DK Metcalf. That makes it a lot different. John Kerfuffle, speaking of, are the AJ and DK dreams dead? I think they're in a different tier than Deebo. they're in a different conversation. I don't think they're dead in the same sense of this. And really, this could be the pivot point for the rest. So if the Jets miss out on Deebo, which I'm sure would be disappointing to all of us, including me, especially depending on the team and the price and all that stuff, to miss out on two like blockbuster trades of Tyreek Hill and Deebo when the Jets have the most cap space, most ammunition of draft assets, and to lose that pissing match would be hard to swallow, especially with the 49ers connections. I don't think the other dreams are dead. I think, quite frankly, they'd be reignited because when Deebo gets traded, inevitably it seems like that's going to happen here now, which is crazy to say out loud, even though we're seeing all this stuff. When he gets traded and gets his Mondo deal that he's going to get, immediately DK and AJ are going to turn around and go, excuse me, right here. Yeah. Blank check. Yeah, thanks. And then that's going to cause friction ahead of the draft as well. So I do not believe they're dead. I agree with you. I think they're in a different tier of more provenness, basically, at wide receiver and healthier. AJ Brown's obviously had some injuries, but yeah, I think to me, the power rankings, with the guys that are here, we're talking about DK, AJ, Deebo, Scary Terry. I know I'm missing another one in there. That's how crazy it is. DK would be number one for me. Size, youth, combination of everything he brings to the table. And then probably like AJ, Deebo, it's a kind of a glut after that. But I do think they're in a separate tier. But I do not believe they're dead. I think, quite frankly, whatever happens here is going to reignite all of that ahead of the draft. Let's go back to Rashawn here, who held the record for like the biggest super chat ever for 5 seconds before it was just overtaken by Charles M, by the way, who $19.99 on the super chat. Again, you guys can skip the line, show support for the channel. This is amazing. This is the most support we've seen on super chats. This is the craziest comments. And of course, we're just live in the middle of all this craziness, which is again, nuts. Jake Klein, 5 years cheap deal. Garrett is a high level. Stick to the plan. Jake, I like the chutzpah. I like the conviction to stick to the plan. Here's my only concern with sticking to the plan. And again, I have nothing wrong with it. If they ultimately stick with the plan, I'm fine. I'm not going to cry about it. But with Deebo, you know what he is. Tyreek Hill, you knew what he was. And then the other receivers, right? Scary Terry, DK, AJ, you all know what those guys are. Garrett Wilson, we don't know what he is. Sure, he's super cheap. That's confirmed. And if he turns into a Justin Jefferson, if he turns into a Jamar Chase, then booyah, you're right, 100% that you win. But what if you don't? What if they're not Justin Jefferson? What if they're Jalen Schrager, which is a disgusting example to bring up? But what if he's that? Then your wide receiver isn't solved, and now you have this guy you're stuck to for multiple years. That's the risk it of the biscuit. You better trust your draft plans. Trust your draft plans and your rankings. That's for damn sure. Gin Pack, go for the jugular, baby. That's right. Gin Pack, Deebo is the most dangerous wide receiver in the league, but at what cost? I wouldn't mortgage the farm. The good thing is you don't have to. There's no way they have to dip into 2023 picks. They have plenty of picks in this class. They have 2 first, 2 seconds, so there's no mortgaging on the future. I don't believe that. You didn't say future, the farm, because, again, they have 9 picks in this class. So that is potential as well. But, again, you have to risk it for the biscuit. You can't just play it safe all the time. Oh, we got another super chat in here. Oh, this is, Tatiana Davis. Zariah Luna and I love you. We're so proud of you. Thank you for all you do for us. Oh, my God, my fiance, which, by the way, I've got a quick question. This is a wonderful comment and so cool. And oh, my God, she's done this before. That's amazing. Did I gain $5 or lose $5? What just happened here? Did I just gain money or did I lose money? My fiance just threw this in. I mean, this is phenomenal, I guess, but just a weird side note. I'm just curious, like, what happened? Is there a tax on this? Like, because it went from her phone to my bank account back to technically her bank account? I don't know. Can we get a poll going here on my beautiful fiance throwing in a tip here? But it's so cool. I didn't even know she was on YouTube. So phenomenal. Zariah Luna, my beautiful daughter and fiance, they love and proud of us. And they're cool with the stream, apparently. I told her, hey, I'll try to do a short stream. And I don't know, the world ended with some breaking news. So phenomenal. So thank you, Tatiana. Hope she's cool. Maybe she'll make us food while we're here on the live stream. That'd be cool. I don't know if that's going to happen. I was starving. I never ate breakfast or lunch, but you know what? We all have to make the sacrifice here, people, for the live stream. Okay, where the heck did we go here? Oh boy. Oh yeah. Let's see. And again, VR Heldago breaking in. I'd like to keep 10, then trade back 100%. You just got to have so many options. That's why I wouldn't like, the mortgage a farm comment, whoever that was a little bit earlier. Like the reason why I wouldn't get kind of lost over that, quite frankly, is because you can always recoup the picks. You can always just slide back and then pick up all those picks. So even if you gave up 35, 38, 69, or the other way, you can always trade back and make it up. That's what I would do. VR, that's a super smart comment. And Charles M. Deebo, AJ, and DK all have the same agent. Very interesting, isn't it? An odd coincidence, you could say. An odd coincidence, perhaps. And VR, you have more control that way. That's true in terms of the trade back, because if you move 35, 38, 69, 10, you can trade back, and people are going to want 10. But if you move 10, then 35, 38, 69, you have the aggression to move back up, but the moving back part from that is somewhat eliminated unless you do it from 4 and do the New Orleans deal. So maybe that's in the cards, but I would prefer the blue chip player than trading back and doing that. But that is an interesting comment there from VR. John Kerfloffel, how about trading 10 for Deebo, AJ, DK, trading 4 to Saints for 60 and 19 and having that? So we just talked about that. That's interesting. So again, you get your wide receiver, which you have it solved, and then you have all those picks where there's great value in the draft, and you could attack a lot of areas. I guess I'm just so attached. I'm so in love with Kayvon Thibodeau that I guess that's the one factor that would slightly alter the course of history for me. That is why I want him so bad. I think he could be such a difference maker, and it could be so important. But that is a compelling case to be made, John, because if you have those pick, imagine that. So again, Deebo, wide receiver is solved. 16, 19, 35, 38. Let's play it out. You get like a Devin Lloyd at 16, who we interviewed earlier this week. At 19, you go, and it's so funny because we're so used to attacking the first half of the draft. Look, I'm like not struggling to come up with names because I love the draft. So we've done a lot of preparation on this, but trying to think of new names that would be added to the mix, that because we've been beating a lot of the same names for a while, right? Like at 4, I mean, there's only so many possibilities it could be. 10, there's only so many possibilities it could be, and vice versa, that now we're going to have to think completely differently if they're able to pull the trigger on this. Let's go Lawrence Wapples. If we go KT at 4 and Sauce at 10, could we then double up at wide receiver at 35 and 38? And Lawrence, I will say it is certainly possible they could do that if you went in that direction. And again, I would be in love with that first round. The wide receiver aggression to me at 35 38 would sound sexy. It would be cool, especially if one of the top wide receivers slips that we don't expect potentially. But the thing that ultimately, at the end of the day, there's only one football, and think about the roster, right? So 35, 38. We won't even play with names, but they could be anyone, right? Jahan Dotson, George Pickens, Chris Olave, if somehow he slipped. I don't think that happens, but, whoever, right? So you have those two, and then you have Elijah Moore, Corey Davis, Braxton Berrios. That's 5 receivers. Like, how are they all getting the ball? Like, it sounds cool in theory, but I don't imagine that kind of Madden aggression we would see. But it's an interesting thought. A lot of people brought it up. I wouldn't be mad. I'd be like, cool. Great, more weapons for Zach Wilson. That's phenomenal. What a smart comment here from Jin Pak here. Our defense just might be a little better if our offense is on the field a little longer than 3 and outs. And oh my God, how many times that happened last year at the beginning, right? So the first game or two, or however long it lasts, I can't even remember now. It's like a blur. But the defense played great at first. And we're like, whoa, okay, they're way better than we thought. We thought they were going to get trounced. And then the offense had these moments where it's 3 and outs, and the defense out there long enough where they get roasted. Of course, anyone would be. They're sucking wind over there. So yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, more offense leads to hopefully a more balanced offense. So we haven't seen that enough. Let's see. Could we trade 35-38 in next year's number 2 for Deebo? Again, as always, it takes 2 to tango in these situations. Maybe you could if you want to get creative and go to 2023, because if you think about it, the Jets would be more aggressive now. So if you could put future picks on the line, I know I'm not sure how great a fan Joe Douglas would be with that as a general manager who always tries to think 10 steps ahead, but that could be fascinating, certainly. I like the creativity. Lawrence, you are popping, locking, and dropping, my friend. I love the comments. This is great. Deebo and AJ are better than DK. Whoa, Jack Harris. I'm not sure I agree with that. I'm going to have to need a little bit more context. Oh, you have more context. Okay, let's see this. I'm going to say, before I read any stats, there is no way that I agree with that. I just think DK to me is better than those two. But let's see the stats because I like being convinced. And I always think before I go into any, I've not seen any more of your comments. There looks like there's more context here. I have opinions. Obviously, you've heard this show and me yelling all over the place about stuff. But I love having my opinion change. If someone gives me a compelling case, I'm cool to move off my spot. Not Kayvon Thibodeau though. You can't tell me nothing. As the wise once Kanye West said, you can't tell me nothing on that. Okay, BS on the scent of your breath, a little chameleonaire in there. There's heck no, you guys are convincing me off KT, but some of these other topics maybe. All right, let's see. Jack Harris. We will see the real DK this year without Russ. 900 yards with 3 or 4 touchdowns to watch. Excuse me, Geno Smith is throwing him the ball, so they got a superstar right there, Mr. Jack Harris. But yeah, you're probably right. We'll see a little bit more of what he is. Jake Klein, Jalen Reagor was undersized and overdrafted. And I think more so, like, that's true. But the other part of it was Justin Jefferson. People thought, he's only a slot receiver. And obviously he's proved he's way more than that. So that kind of factored in. So Eagles blew it with the bad evaluation. And then the Vikings may have just gotten lucky, however that works. Jack Harris, Boy Green, happy 420, which of course is today. Take that 3-hour trip up north and get you some smoke. Okay. I haven't done that in a few years, Jack Harris, but hey, you get me Deebo and maybe we'll get a little crazy. Huh? All right, let's get some more comments in here. John Kerfloffel. My only concern is Deebo is injury prone, but also he'd basically be signing like a free agent when trading premium picks. Not sure this team is ready for that. The Deebo injury thing, again, anyone that brings that up, that is such a legitimate point because, again, he's been injured his entire life, essentially. High school, college, pros. It's a concern. And when you hand him, like, whatever that deal would be, right? 4 years, 5 years, $100-something million, that's a lot of bones, man. And there's no like de-escalating incentives in there that would say something like, that say, hey, if you get injured, we get our money back. No, like they don't have that in there. So, you're going to have to just kind of bite the bullet there. So that's part of it. But again, the free agent thing, the reason why I don't say that is because, like, it's the Jets against everyone else. And right now there's a Jet tax that we all hate to talk about, but it's the truth. We just saw it. Chandler Jones, no thanks. BJ Hill, no thanks. DJ Jones, no thanks. These free agents that the Jets offered fair money to, but they went, we'll go somewhere else. Or the Jets had to overpay. So when you have an opportunity via trade, obviously they have no choice. They're kicking and screaming. But I think Deebo would be okay. Outside of new information that you guys are going to drop in here in the live stream, I think Deebo would be okay with New York. That's good for his brand. Secondly, the 49ers connections are obvious, so he knows how he's going to be used with Mike LaFleur. So I imagine he'd be perfectly comfortable coming up here. But as a free agent, you can be lured by so many different things that I'm not so sure you could just get him as a free agent. That's why sometimes you got to trade for him, and that's where they're at. So not sure this team is ready for that. I respect people's opinions. The thing I would say is this. Zach Wilson would be better with more talent around him. And if you have to pay a little bit of a premium for that, I am willing to do that. Jidpek, congrats to you. Thank you so much. Yeah, this is the wildest live stream in history. First up, I think the longest, though, actually, we broke that record like last week. I had Morgan Chapman, who was in here for like an hour and 45 minutes. Maybe we'll break that. I don't know. But we'll be on here for at least a little more bit until new information obviously comes in. So we'll be ready for that. As soon as that happens, like if we hop off and they get straighter, I guess we're hopping back on for that noise. So I'm just glad that Wednesdays are actually more free with the Jet Zone. So that's cool. Ragna Jet. Assuming we do get Deebo, what's your adjusted 3-round mock off the cuff? I know you touched on some picks already. So again, because we don't know the picks, whether it's 10 or 35, 38, 69. Again, I'm still a KET off the top of the board. So Kayvon Thibodeau I'd go with. Let's assume the 10 pick is gone for arguments, and we'll try to work our way back for the other. So 10's gone. So after you pick from 4, you don't pick again until 35. So again, you get your pass rusher and wide receiver solved. At 35, 38, again, if Nakobe Dean drops, I'd be super in on helping the defense out. You could go corner there in that second round. But again, for me, the corner conversation is Sauce or Stingley or like, I'm good. No offense to the other guys. There's other really good guys, Roger McCreary, Kobe Bryant. There's a bunch of really good corners in this class. McDuffie, I don't think they dropped that far. But you could go in that second bag of corners. But to me, we've got second bad corners now. I'm cool to improve it if you want Stingley or Sauce, but in this scenario, that's not possible. So you go KT, you got Deebo, obviously. I'd wait. Safety would probably be a big spot to go to at 35, 38. Again, a Jaquan Brisker, Dax Hill if he's there. I'm trying to think of anyone else that jumps to mind. Those would be ones off the top of my head. And then offensive tackle. I can't say that enough. That is so gosh darn important. No matter what combination of things you need an offensive tackle. If you can't have this amazing offense with all these cool toys, and then you lift the hood and there's no goddamn engine in there, right? You have Mekhi Becton, you have George Fant, and if they both stay healthy, you're good. But what if they don't? Because guess what? Mekhi Becton hasn't stayed healthy, and then George Fant's entering the last year of his deal, and he's on the wrong side of 30. So again, there is a higher than zero chance that one of them gets hurt, and also we're relying on Connor McDermott, Juma Edoga, and it won't matter what goddamn weapons they have because Zach Wilson will be laying on his back. So that's got to be a factor as well. So I would go offensive tackle. And again, the one that just happens to be on the top of my head because my Dane Brugler interview last week is Tyler Smith out of Tulsa. So he would be a guy, certainly. But there are other offensive linemen that could be available in that range. I've heard Bernard Raymond. There could be others that could potentially be available there. But long story short, recap. KT, Deebo was 10th overall. 35 go like safety. Again, Daxton Hill, Jaquan Brisker, whoever at safety. And then 38 would be that offensive tackle because I find that so important. Now, let's reverse it real quick. Let's say you give up 35, 38, 69. So now what are your 2 first-round picks? Again, I'm still on KT. I'm on KT until the day I die. So that is a hill I am more than willing to die on. And then at 10, I would love a Sauce. Again, you just double dip on defense. You helped out your offense tremendously, like a Deebo Samuel, and then you double dip on defense with 2 elite playmakers on two sides, of the ball on the back, both on defense. 2 levels is the word I was looking for. So you'd have Kayvon Thibodeau rushing the passer, and then you'd have your corner on the back end. That would be great. That's off the top of my head. I don't have any mock drafts or anything in front of me, and again, we haven't really taken a break here. This is just all off the cuff. So. Okay, VR Hildago. Not to be a cloud, but essentially we're going to give up draft capital for $25 million, 4 years on a super talented Swiss Army knife who is injury prone. I don't know. You don't have to be a cloud, VR. I wouldn't categorize you in that ballpark. I think it's great to have all these different conversations. Some people on one side, some people on the other. It gives us a full breath conversation. So I wouldn't call you a cloud. I think that'd be too much. I like you playing devil's advocate if you'd like with this. There is risk with giving up the draft capital and the prerequisite money, obviously, that would come with it, and the injuries. Again, the cool thing is that he would provide something that Elijah Moore can't. I think a common misconception when Elijah Moore is drafted is, he could be the Deebo Samuel of this offense. For people who don't know, and I think there's a lot of people out there that don't, did you know that Elijah Moore is 5'10" and he's maybe 180 pounds soaking wet? Now, I didn't weigh him last week, but that's the number I remember off the top of my head. Deebo Samuel, on the other hand, has 40 pounds on Elijah Moore. He's like 220 pounds. Elijah Moore's like 180. 40 pounds difference. So people say all the time that Elijah Moore, again, can be that Deebo Samuel, but he can't. We saw it, unfortunately, in the Denver game last year. He took a jet sweep and got a concussion. Now, any size, small, short, fat, big, wide can get a concussion. But the point is that he doesn't necessarily have the body to be able to do the pure running back reps up the middle. Deebo Samuel does. And he is a Swiss Army knife. And I would try to relegate again, we have running backs on the roster, so let's not just run him into the ground and kind of destroy the tread on his tires. To me, I would be situational in the red zone. You saw the kind of the Braxton and Berrios plays. Man, some of the trick plays with Deebo and Braxton on the same offense, that's juicy. That's sexy to me. But I understand the concerns, VR. You are not a cloud. That is a just kind of the devil's advocate of the real, which is here. John Kalafel. Am I crazy to think the wide receiver need isn't as glaring as people think? Becton, LT, Conklin, and Uzama help the offense a lot more. Davis and Braxton along with those guys. I think it's pretty good. Here's why. Because, John, you're right. On paper, they're all good, right? Braxton solid. Corey solid. Elijah Moore solid. Here's my devil's advocate to that point. Corey Davis did not stay healthy last year. Now, it seems more like an outlier than his career because he's been a really healthy guy, but still, he was not healthy last year. Elijah Moore was not healthy last year. He was bookended with injuries at the beginning of the year with a quad and then at the back end of the year. I think there was the other quad, as a matter of fact. So, again, they aren't staying healthy. And if they're not staying healthy, do you know who the next wide receivers are up on the depth chart? Let me tell you off the top of my head, because for some reason I know. DJ Montgomery, Jeff Smith, Denzel Mims, who again, we have no idea what he is. Like, you can't have the break the glass be any of those guys. No offense. I love CJ Uzomah. I think Conklin's going to be really good, but another number one wide receiver increases the overall depth of the unit and allows the defense to have someone to circle. Right now, candidly, there is no one on this Jets offense. Defense are going, oh my God, how am I going to stop that guy? Maybe Elijah Moore, but I don't even think he's commanded that level of respect yet, quite frankly. So I don't think there's anyone on the offense, with all due respect. And as soon as I say that, I can say anything. It's like, with all due respect, you're an idiot. And then you can't get mad because I said with all due respect. So that's how it works, people. Those are just them's the rules. Don't blame me. Don't shoot the messenger. Okay? But with that being said, you can't have that be the case at wide receiver. So you're not crazy to think that on the surface, but again, you can't promise, John, if you have that superpower, then let me know. If you could just promise great health for the entire team, then yes, I'd be okay with wide receiver not being as big of a deal, but it is. And then plus, really, you don't want, in a perfect world, respectfully, again, we can say that, you don't want Braxton Berrios being a full-time starter. The Jets didn't pay him to be a full-time starter. They're paying him to be a gizmo, gadget, all-pro return guy, which is exactly what he is. So you're going to have Elijah Moore on one side, you're going to have Corey Davis on the other, and then this superstar wide receiver, in theory, that we're all kind of dancing around talking about. And those are your three, and then you mix in Braxton Berrios, you keep him fresh, he's great, and hopefully prevent injuries by rotating guys in and out. So respectfully, I think there's a lot of great points you made, but to me, I think wide receiver is still a massive need. I still think it is. Lawrence, Boyd Green, you're the man. Appreciate it. And by the way, some people have brought this up. Like, Paul, you got the Boyd Green nickname. You're still relatively young. I'm 28. I actually turned 29, which, yikes. I turned 29 in 6 days. So people have said, hey, what happens when you get old, man? Like, they're going to call you Man Green? And I'm going to be honest, that sounds like a disease. So I would hope not. Man Green, that just sounds like something you go to your doctor about. So hopefully not. Hopefully we can keep the Boyd Green that can keep my youthful charm into my elder age. But I appreciate that. More from Lawrence. The more weapons Zach has, the less possibility for players to get injured based on player rotations. Boom. Lawrence, we are speaking the same language. Of course we are, because you're a brilliant genius. And I love it. So we're completely on the same page. Jack Harris, how is DK considered better than Deebo? Deebo had like 1,800 yards and 14 total touchdowns with Jimmy G. DK didn't have those kind of numbers, and he had an elite Russell Wilson. This is the one time to land him. Here's the thing I would say is, if we go beyond the conversation, Deebo Samuel is coming off a great year, and I can't deny those numbers. They are spectacular. But I would then go, well, what about the career numbers for old Deebo Samuel? And you know what? We have time here. Let's look it up real quick. So Deebo Samuel stats. Let's pull those up, and we'll put DK Metcalf stats up right next to it, and we will see if this is indeed the case. Maybe I'm a big idiot, and that's okay, because that happens a lot. It's okay. So I'm pulling up the DK Metcalf Pro Football Reference numbers, and then we'll pull up the Deebo Samuel Pro Football Reference numbers. Okay. Here are the first 2 years for Deebo Samuel. He had rookie year, 57 catches, 800 yards, 3 touchdowns. The next year, he had 33 catches, 390 yards, and 1 touchdown. Remember, he was injured. He only played in 7 games. Also, in his first season, he only played in 15 games. There were 16 games back then, so he basically played the entire season. Let's pull up the Deebo numbers. Deebo had 58 catches, 900 yards, and 7 touchdowns. So he beat him in every category as a rookie. Okay, let's go to year number 2. DK Metcalf went off. That was the best year of his career. 83 catches, 1,300 yards, 10 touchdowns. That annihilated Deebo Samuel, who did not exist. Then last year, Deebo had a great year. 77 catches, 1,400 yards, 6 touchdowns, but more with the rushing. So throwing the other 8 rushing, 14 touchdowns total. DK Metcalf last year, 75 catches, 900 yards, and 12 touchdowns. That's pretty good. So why do I say that he is better? Well, over his career, DK has been better the entire career, length of the career, not just any 1 year, and he's been more consistent. That's the other thing I like. Deebo Samuel apparently misses games every other week. Here is DK Metcalf. Played the entire season, played the entire season, played the entire season. DK Metcalf has never missed a game. Well, that, boom, drop the mic, baby. That's what I would do. So how would he be considered better? Career numbers, better. I would also say health, better. and the youth, everything. I think he just checks off all the boxes. To be blunt, Mr. Jack Harris, since we went there to the numbers. All A.J. Brown does make plays and move the sticks. Who doesn't want that? Both are worth $25 million. I think they're all worth $25 million, to be honest. I think the only thing is A.J. Brown. I don't have his things in front of me, but he has had some injuries. So, and I remember that because he was on my fantasy team last year. So I knew that one off the top of my head. But the injuries there scare me a little bit. But again, they're all talented. And again, you risk it to get the biscuit. Okay. Let's go back to John Kerloffel here. It kind of is like a free agent because he has to sign an extension, right? Like Hill, Adams, Watson, and others will get to pick their destination, except the ones that come with controllable top prospects. Yeah, it is from that standpoint, they're picking their spot. But what I meant by that is basically, like, it's not direct choice. Like, Tyreek Hill gave them a choice. I don't know if the 49ers do. I don't know if the 49ers are going to say, like, hey, every NFL, again, I don't know. Maybe this is the case. Again, I'm not on Twitter. We're just doing the show right now. But maybe, and I'm speculating, I don't think the 49ers say, hey, everyone give us your best offer for Deebo, excuse me. And then they turn to Deebo and say, hey, pick whichever one you want. We're cool with all these deals. Like, I don't know if they're going to do them in solid. I understand the Chiefs did that, but it sounds like if Deebo is requesting a trade, why would the 49ers acquiesce to that? They just want the best deal possible. And that's why I think it could be the Jets. So that's the one thing with the free agent conversation that kind of miffs me there is that you're not getting that. Again, and what I'm saying is, I don't know if you were making this assertion earlier, John, but I don't think you can just not trade for him and just say, oh, maybe we can, because that's what some Jet fans are saying, not you in particular, but some Jet fans have said, like, just get him when he's a free agent. Well, we've tried that over the barnyard. We've seen franchise tags and everything else destroy our hopes and dreams. That'd be the one thing I would say about that. Tyrone, what's up, Jets fam? Wow, we are, things are getting crazy. Kev _ Chata, second round corners can be developed. Absolutely they can. I'm not just crapping on second round corners, but to me, again, I think there's an upper tier of Derek Stingley and Sauce, and then the rest of corners, there's a drop off. I like a lot of the corners, like Kobe Bryant. I mentioned Roger McCreary, McDuffie. Like, there's a lot of corners I really like, but I'm okay. Like, I'm okay putting Bryce Hall, Brandon Eccles on the bench for Stingley or Sauce. I'm willing to do that. Putting them on the bench for McCreary and all these other guys, I'm not willing to put on the bench unless they just straight up win. So that to me is a factor. Okay, let's go to Jim Pock here. Deebo runs me a combo town of Gronk and Marshawn Lynch. Well, I like that for two Hall of Fame kind of talents there. That's great. Kevin _ Chad, if JD wants Deebo, it would have to be a sign and trade. Otherwise, Deebo has too much leverage in extending. 100%. And we talked about that a little earlier in the stream. Yes. Again, if you're going to do something like that, he has to agree to an extension. There's no way you do like a 1-year rental. VR, hashtag KT for life, copyright pending, LOL, elbow cough. Yes, 100%. KT, baby, all day. Jack Harris, yeah, KT will be that dude opposite of Lawson, can be deadly, 100%. That'd be like one of the best pass rushing duos they've had in a long time. VR, Elijah Moore, 180 pounds with rocks in his pockets. Maybe. Yeah, because he is a little thick dude. Actually, I'm just curious because I don't know. I remember that from his draft profile. He's 179 pounds, so I was right on the money. So he's got a little thick, a little juice, a little, chutzpah to him, but certainly not Deebo. So again, 40 pounds difference between those two. To be honest, it doesn't look like Deebo wants to be the Deebo Samuel of the offense anymore. And I'm kind of okay if he wants to take some of the running stuff away. Again, overall trick plays in the red zone, cool. But if they want to get rid of some of the wear and tear, he just catches the football. He catches the football pretty good for me. So yes, let's just throw him the football more. That would be kind of cool. Again, everybody, for everyone who's in, I'm seeing there's a lot of people in here. Again, make sure you like the video on YouTube. We're trying to grow the channel. We have the crazy Deebo News break on the show, which is amazing. One of the coolest reactions I'm sure we've ever had. I'll have to go back and watch it because I was just in the moment. But make sure you hit subscribe on YouTube if you please can. Show your support for the channel. And there's a million comments in here. If you want to skip the line, super chat. You could drop an emoji, a question, or comment. You could jump to the front of the line and guarantee your question gets answered and, of course, support the channel so we can have other cool guests. And just a quick reminder, by the way, some of the other cool guests we've had on the show. We had Devin Lloyd on this week. We've had Joe Caporoso, Emery Hunt, Mike Tannenbaum, Dane Brugler, Bruce Feldman, Austin Gale. I mean, the names are just overwhelming. Check out the wonderful playlist on the channel that is Path to the 2022 NFL Draft. You can catch out all my great interviews, Damian Woody, Connor Hughes, Connor Rogers, Trevor Sikkema, so many great ones, guys. Make sure you guys check it out and show your support for the show. A couple more here, and then we'll sign off unless the Deebo Samuel trade breaks, because I'll grab some lunch here. Pretty hungry. Jack Harris, I still think Jameson is that dude to have, though. If we can't land one of these big three in a trade, him or Wilson, Drake London scares the fuck out of me. Very nice, Jack. I will say this. Yeah, Jameson is that dude. I'd be happy with him. Garrett Wilson is kind of 4 for me. I prefer Traylon Burks. I know some of the athletic testing numbers aren't great. I just think he is like your mini version of Deebo Samuel. No one should really be compared to Deebo. Everyone's their own man, but I would say that. I would not be mad. Again, if they keep their picks, again, it's exciting and fun to talk about all these possibilities. They keep their picks. It's not the worst thing in the world. You have a lot of picks, so it's a win-win is how I look at it. Kevin _Chata. Besides injuries, Corey Davis had too many drop passes. Elijah Moore at 5'9.5" is not enough. He's 5'10", but we need London to diversify the unit. Yeah, Corey Davis on top of the drops and the missed games and the fumbles, which all of a sudden was really weird. London would be great. That's why I really like London. I'm a big London fan. He is technically 6'3" and 7'8", but really he's a 6'4" wide receiver that would provide size to this receiving core that truly it doesn't have. So that's something I would kind of factor in there as well. But I love Drake London, so if we end up with him, hey, that's friggin' phenomenal. John Carloffel, you're 100% right about injury concerns with the wide receiving core. I just think with this offense will be more about the power run game behind LT and Becton here and using the tight ends and throwing it to the wide receivers. I'd love to see it, but we haven't seen it yet. So that's projection. But I like Conklin. I like Usama. I'd love to use them more. But I see what you're saying. I see how you could minimize the need for a wide receiver, thus you could survive what you have, and maybe you can, and maybe they don't go wide receiver. Maybe we're all making up the wide receiver need. Maybe Joe Douglas is telling the truth. After he tried to trade for Tyreek Hill, he spoke at the NFL owners meetings, and the reporter said, "Oh, so wide receiver must be a pretty big priority for you guys." He said, "No, I wouldn't say that. It was just a unique opportunity." We all thought that was bullshit, but maybe he was telling the truth. He just said, wow, getting Tyreek Hill's cool. I mean, we like our receivers, but that's Tyreek Hill. And maybe they don't take a wide receiver. We're all just full of smoke. Certainly possible, whether they don't like the rookie receivers or really they just thought that Tyreek Hill was a once-in-a-lifetime kind of thing. Always possible. Brilliant minds think alike. You bet we do, Lawrence. Enough said. Have you, Kev _China, have you thought about getting help for being a Celtics fan? Let me just finally explain this to all the people that are in here, and I can have it in digital form because I announced this in two ways. First off, I announced on the NYJ UK Twitter page, which again, you guys should go follow them. It's they're great support. They've been asking like fans questions like, what's your unpopular sports take or something to share, unpopular opinion. Like for me, obviously, boy green, Jets everywhere, right? I'm a diehard Jet fan. And I also cover the Jets for heavy.com. So I love the Jets. They're the football, American football, to clarify, is the number one sport I love. I love it. I love the draft. I love football. I love the Jets. I love that more than anything. I live, breathe, eat, sleep, everything Jets. However, my other sports actually are not New York affiliated. Quite frankly, I moved up to New York here in 2008, like 14 years ago, but I had no affiliation to the Mets or Yankees or God knows all these other teams, Knicks or anything. I had no affiliation. My family actually, as we learn more about each other, which is pretty cool, is from the New England area. So my dad was born in Gardner, Mass. My mother was born in Rhode Island. So they're all New England-y people. So I grew up with Boston Red Sox and Boston Celtics, not Patriots. My dad was a Cowboys fan. My mom was a Patriots fan. But no, I was never a Patriots fan, just to clarify. But Celtics and Red Sox is basically in my blood. So I kind of grew up watching them. And then my grandpa gave me the Jet nickname for running around the house or whatever reason. He gave it to me, and the rest is history there. And he gave me the nickname. I said, oh, Jets, Jets. He made me do that train all the time. What's that all about? Boom, Jets, fan, blah, blah, blah. Now I'm elbow deep. But it's true. I am a Celtics fan, and I announced that on the Jets UK page. That got a little traction. And then after the Celtics and the beautiful Jason Tatum spin around layup at the cup, like then I had to tweet out. I'm like, hey, everybody, woo, what a win. What a great game by the Celtics. And a lot of Jet fans are like, what the hell? You can't beat Boston and Jets. But people, I just have to be who I am. That's who I am. I try to reserve a lot of that, though, because my Twitter account is basically a Jets free-for-all, which it should be, by the way. But every once in a while, I'll share some, like I'm a big Survivor fan. That's every Wednesday night. I'm a crazy Survivor fan. I've seen every season. And so I try to keep a lot of that like off Twitter because, people follow me for my Jet stuff, not necessarily my Survivor takes or Celtics or Red Sox. So I try to keep a lot of that under wraps. But every once in a while, it like bursts through the seams, so to speak. Okay, Ragnar Jet. Agree, Paul Tyler Smith. PFN Ian Cummings said, if you want Trevor Penning around later, Tyler Smith could be your guy. Provides a similar skill set depending at a potentially cheaper cost. Yeah, Tyler Smith is an interesting kind of throw of the dart. Dane Brugler, again, you can check out that full interview on my channel. Dane said that he won't be ready immediately, but he could be kind of a nice stash as you're developing him, and he'd be ready to compete for a job probably in 2023. So I really, Tyler Smith could be a nice guy. John Calafel. I don't know if you get the best deal possible without Deebo agreeing to an extension, so I think that's why they get to pick their destination more than their former team doing them a solid. Well, here's the thing, and again, I know Deebo's in his rookie contract, so he doesn't have a no trade clause. I mean, the 49ers can turn around and say, hey, Deebo, we're going to get we didn't want to trade you, but now we're trading you, and we're going to get the best offer. And whatever the best offer is, we're going to send you to. Now, I guess his agent and team could be like, well, we're not signing. And then thus the receiving team is like, well, if he's not going to sign, then we're not going to trade. Maybe you could push him up against it, and that's what happens. So maybe that's a flexibility that ends up happening here. So you could be right at the end of the day, John. That's very, very possible. Lawrence, unless we get Sauce at 10, I would prioritize safety over corner. I agree. Again, there is just kind of a line for me. I like Sauce and Stingley. I think they both have merits. Your medical staff has to approve Stingley, and then Sauce is self-explanatory. But again, once you pass those two, to me, then it switches over to safety because I prefer the safety as opposed to the corner. So I agree. And motivated T, a lot of people don't realize that DK Metcalf has never missed a game in his entire career. Incredibly durable. He's young. He'd be the guy I'd get. Again, I'm not going to be, nitpicky here. If we get Deebo, that's phenomenal. But DK is a guy that people don't realize never missed a game. Incredibly durable player, and obviously a budding star. All right, if you guys have a couple of last-second super chat comments you want to get in and make sure you get them answered before we hop off here, we will. We're about to break the record for the longest stream on this channel, so shout out to you guys for that, for one of the craziest things ever. Talking Jets with Tigo. He will be one of the most productive receivers in football without ever taking another handoff again in his career. That's true. So again, it's not like he needs to do those things, but that's what he's been asked to do. Owen Berea. I don't want to be on the other end of the Jamal Adams trade. I don't want to pay a top price for Deebo. We're not as desperate as people make us seem. Again, I don't think we are. It's not like we're giving up 2 firsts. And if that's a price, then kick rocks, 49ers. I'm not giving you 4 and 10. If they want, here's what I'm going to do. 35, 38, 69. You want that package, fine. And then you give us back a pick or 10 straight up. Nothing else. Maybe you give us a pick back. But there's no way we're doing the Jamal. No chance. Joe Douglas would never do that. So I don't think I have anything to worry about. Kevin _ shot of Sauce, like all the rookie quarters, will have growing pains for approximately half a season, given college allows grabbing receivers. Yeah, that's possible. I wouldn't overgeneralize. I agree with your point, though. Most corners struggle in the transition. Not a lot of them are just superstars from the get-go, but I think Sauce is a different kind of player. John Hepburn, Christian Watson instead of London, same size, but Watson is a burner. Speed kills. I agree with the speed, obviously, and the athletic traits are there. They're the same size technically, but they're just completely different players. Like Christian Watson is not as developed as London is. He struggles with that hand-eye stuff down the field. There's just a lot of, again, he struggled at his level. And again, he doesn't have to just go from his level to Division I. He's got to go from his level to Division I to NFL. He's got to make essentially 2 jumps. I can't remember the draft analyst I heard that from, but that was a beautiful way to describe it. There's such a jump in competition. And again, when you're at that level, you got to be big fish, small pond. And he was with a lot of his big-time plays, but he wasn't as refined. And again, that's going to hurt him. He may go late round 1, but probably early round 2. So I've got some concerns about him. Is there a case to be made to pull McBride at 35 if JD misses out on first-round receivers? Absolutely not. The only way they take McBride is 69, and he shouldn't be there. But if he's there at 69, then you're like, okay, well, value. But no, there's no way on this planet they take him. They've got way too many needs to get a third tight end. That'd be too much. And same thing with Owen. I'd say no. Great question, John. Are you doing anything for the first round of the draft? A lot of people have asked. I think what we're going to do, it's not official, but I think we will just live stream it. I think we'll be here and I'll try to get us some guests on the show and do some stuff. So keep an eye out for that. It's not official yet, but there's been enough people that have asked. I think we're going to do a first round live stream. Now, the other side of that, and I will just be completely transparent here as we're kind of wrapping up the stream, is I've got a job, so I've got heavy on jet, so I got to write articles. And I'm sure as entertaining as it would be for you guys to just watch me write articles as the draft's going on and you guys ask me questions, which maybe you will be, at that point, we'll probably get like 410, maybe we'll do a live stream or either a pre-draft live stream or, I don't know. We'll figure it out. I haven't figured out all the details yet. I will be joining, like I said, Green Bean and Matt O'Leary on their day 2 stream for a small period of time. So you guys will check me out there. And we will have reactions to all the picks. So I'll kind of have a camera on me and have the camera rolling during pick, after pick. And I could go like, wow, or Jesus, or what's happening. So we'll definitely do something. But right now I'm still working it out. That's to be transparent. This is the first time, I'm kind of just revealing this. Again, with my job with Heavy, when picks are happening and articles and things are happening in the world, I got to kind of cover it for my job. So it's not as sexy for you guys. If I had another co-host that could Adam Schefter me, like when they're doing the draft day stuff and then they go to Adam Schefter, like, Adam, what do you think of the pick? And he just goes, oh man, I got to do a trade. Someone else talk. And then do that and then come back. And I write pretty fast. If we could have that situation, we could do that. But we'll see. Nothing is set in stone, but enough people have asked that seem to really want something. Kev, hoping for a late round tight end. I think 100% we get it. Isaiah Likely on day 3. Jelani is another one. Jelani Woods is another one I would like. And a couple. And here are some of the other ones. Ruckert, Kolar, and a couple others. Okay, let's quickly. We're going to wrap up here again. If you have a final super chat, you want to get it in now. I'm going to run through like rapid fire here on the last questions, and then we'll sign off. Harold H. Abraham Lucas is OT. I would draft for 2023. Would trade back in second or at the top of the third in each year, round out his game. That's fine. I'm cool, but you need an OT in the first 2 rounds. Regarding wide receiver, draft or trade, Eddie. If I had my druthers about it, I would go for superstar wide receiver, and then you're covered. But again, I'm not mad if they end up just going draft. Kevin _ Chata. If Seahawks get rid of DK, they'll lose most ticket sales. Yeah, that was brutal. Bobby Wagner, Russell Wilson, and him. Woof. Not great. Alec Pierce, Cincinnati wide receiver, interestingly talented. And again, getting a lot of love on the Sims wide receiver rankings. He's okay. I wouldn't take him on day 1. There seems to be some weird buzz around that. I think that's all smoke. I don't see that. Kevin _ Chata. Anybody see Watson's comp being Mims? I have not heard that, and I would not agree with that. I don't think he has the same physicality as Denzel Mims, so I would push back on that one. Mims is dog chow. Ouch, that hurts. Okay. Just putting it out there. If we get Deebo, what do you think about moving up and getting wide receiver Jameson Williams around 18? Or DN. I will assume that's DN. If we get DN, what do you think about moving up and getting wide receiver Williams around 18? The only thing I'm missing on this is I'm sure I'm cool moving up. But again, if you got Deebo, let's just say, I'm assuming that's defensive end. If you got defensive end, then sure, you can then get like corner or offensive line or something at 10 and then trade up for wide receiver. I'm cool with that. Well, I have a drinking game. I will be honest. I'm not much of a drinker. I do hand grenades. That's a New Orleans style for those. The most powerful drink in New Orleans. I do that. Mountain Dew pre-draft drinking game. Maybe I should do some of that. That would be fun, but not a big drinker, actually. I try to rein all that in. Everybody, this was one of the craziest live streams in history. We had the most super chats we've ever had, the craziest comments we've ever had, and I want to thank you guys all for joining us here on the show. It was really cool. Thank you so much. I planned on only going like 30, 45 minutes. We went an hour and 47 minutes, so we just broke the record for the longest live stream ever on this channel, and whether you're watching this now, whether you're watching this later, whether you're hearing this later on Spreaker.com and Sports War Radio. This was fun. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. Make sure you please show your support. Like the video on YouTube. hit the subscribe button. And guys, make sure you tell a friend. That's what you could do. Because think about this. If we have 1.42 thousand subscribers right on YouTube, and each one of you only tells one other Jets fan or person that you know in your life, which I'm sure you know somebody, about the channel can double and grow. I'm trying to grow it as fast as I can with live streams, guests, giveaways, and so much other cool stuff, which, by the way, there's another random thing that we haven't really talked about. I'm doing a partnership with ZachWilsonIsGood.com. We're giving away a Zach Wilson or Braxton Berrios is Good shirt. All you have to do is subscribe to the channel, and you're immediately eligible for that giveaway. We're giving it away on draft day weekend, and I got other cool autographed Jets memorabilia hanging all over here that I'm willing to give away, but let's try to get to 2,000 subscribers. Maybe we can start giving some of this stuff away. So you guys help me help you, and we could be a beautiful community here. Again, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you next time, and perhaps the Deebo Samuel trade into the Jets video could be coming sooner rather than later. We'll see you guys later. Peace out, everybody.